السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أهل الله ومن تبعهم بالإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Brothers and sisters, I welcome you back to another episode of our Tajweed classes where we'll try to explain the rulings, the principles guiding Tajweed in order to enhance our Quranic recitation and further help with our Quranic memorization. So practically in our previous classes, we've been able to explain the Ahkam Nuun Sakinah and Tanween in relation. Then we said Ahkam Nuun Sakinah, which is the principles and the rulings of Nuun Sakinah and Tanween, are actually four. We explained that we have Al-Izhar, Al-Idgham, Al-Iqlab and Al-Ikhfaa. Al-Izhar. Al-Izhar. By saying Al-Izhar, I told you in that previous class that Al-Izhar means showing something, making something vivid. That is what Al-Izhar means. That means we want to make the Nuun Sakinah and the Tanween, we want to make it vivid. Now, how the explanation of everything in relation to Al-Izhar is that anytime we see Nuun Sakinah and Tanween, we want to make it show, we want to make it vivid along the line when we are reciting. That means anytime we see Nuun Sakinah and Tanween coming after, when we see Nuun Sakinah and Tanween coming before any of the huruf al-halq, I told you something when we were explaining Al-Izhar, there is something we call huruf al-halq. That is the throat words or the throat sounds or the throat alphabet, and there are actually 6, and that is Al-Hamza, Al-Ha, Al-Ain, Al-Ha, Al-Ghain and Al-Kha. Anytime you are reciting the Quran and you come across a Nuun Sakinah or a Tanween, either Fathatan, Kasratan or Dhammatan, coming before any of the 6 Arabic alphabets, then it is what? Al-Izhar. That is what we are trying to say. So in case you've not seen those previous videos, this video is also explanatory enough. Just get the simple gist. Anytime you're reciting the Quran and you come across a Nuun Sakinah and Tanween, and the theme or the alphabet coming after that Nuun Sakinah. By Nuun Sakinah, I mean a Noon with Sukun, or Tanween, either Fathatan, Kasratan or Dhammatan, and then anything that the alphabet coming after this is what? Either Hamza or Ha or Ain or Ha or Ghain or Kha. The ruling there is Al-Izhar, and Al-Izhar means what? Showing. You need to pronounce the Nuun Sakinah. You know, when you say Alif Hamza Fatha A, Nuun Sakinah, an, so that needs to be vivid. That is what we mean by showing. So that gunna there, that pronunciation of the Noon with Sukun is what we mean by what? Showing. You need to show it. For example, that is why I have the Quran here. For us to easily, relate to what we are saying, we just have to open any part of the Quran. I believe we'll be able to meet one of these examples here. The first one we have Nuun Sakinah. Let me see in this place. قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما آمنتكم على أخيه من قبل فالله خير حافظا. Now let's read here in Surah Yusuf, verse 64. خير, can you see? خير حافظا. Now look at this place. We have Noon Dhammatan, Kha, Khayrun, Ra, Dhammatan, Run. But the reason why we are making this Tanween show by Run, if it is Dhamma alone, it is Khayru. Dhammatan, Run. So that Noon, that sound of the Gunna, there, it must show. That is what Izhar does. And why is it showing here? It is because it is preceding Al-Ha. And Al-Ha is one of the what? Huruf al-Halq. Do you understand now? So there is no way in the Quran when you want to do Izhar of Noon, it must happen when the Noon is preceding or coming before any of these huruf al-halq. Either Hamza or Ha or Ain or Ha or Ghain or Kha. That is the first example we are able to get. وَلَمَّا فَتَحُوا مَتَاعَهُمْ وَجَدُوا بِضَاعَتَهُمْ رُدَّتْ إِلَيْهِمْ قَالُوا يَا أَبَانَا the reason why I'm doing this is just for you to be able to know that you can easily find examples anywhere. Now, also the same page in Surah Yusuf, verse 66, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَالَ لَنْ أُرْسِلَهُ لَنْ قَالَ لَنْ أُرْسِلَهُ مَعَكُمْ. Now look at what happened here. This is Nuun Sakinah preceding an Hamza. Do you get? So Nuun Sakinah preceding Hamza here shows that what we do for this Noon? Al-Izhar. It must be shown. قَالَ لَنْ أُرْسِلَهُ لَنْ أُرْسِلَهُ مَعَكُمْ حَتَّى تُؤْتُونِ مَوْثِقًا مِنَ اللَّهِ. Let's look for one more example. قال الله على ما نقول وكيل ولما. Now, I've seen another example. وَدَخُلُوا مِنْ أَبْوَابٍ مُتَفَرِّقَةٍ. من أبواب متفرقة. من. Now, the reason why we are doing the Izhar here is because Nuun Sakinah, which is what we are talking about, has preceded an Hamza, and Hamza is part of Huruf al-Halqi, and Huruf al-Halqi belongs to what? Al-Izhar. That is just the explanation. So this is a very much direct explanation of everything in relation to what? Al-Izhar. Let's try to see if we can get one more example before we move on to Al-Idgham. There are lots of examples, lots. Okay. Now in Surah Al-Nahl, وَيَوْمَ نَبْعَثُ فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ شَهِيدًا عَلَيْهِمْ. Okay. شَهِيدًا عَلَيْهِمْ. شَهِيدًا. Can you see the fathatan here is being pronounced showingly, vividly. We can hear it. It's not been hidden. It's not been changed. You understand? It's not been suspended. That is the ruling. Shahidan alayhim. Shahidan. Do you get it now? And the reason why we are doing the Tanween, and the reason why we are doing Izhar here is because Tanween here is preceding Al-Ain, and Ain belongs to the Huruf al-Halq or Harf al-Halq, and Harf al-Halq in Tajweed belongs to Al-Izhar. Simple. Now let me quickly give you one nice tip, or more like a trick to like ease your knowledge when it comes to you identifying where Izhar and Idgham, and most especially when it comes to Al-Izhar. Now in Tajweed, anytime you see Noon with the sukun written on it, if you can see the sukun written on it, it is Izhar. That is the rule. If the sukun is written, like if you can see vividly on it, it is what? Al-Izhar. Do you understand now? It is what? Al-Izhar. Now, for the Tanween too, if you can see the Tanween written together, like you can see, for example, now can see these two. Let me try to bring out one example, like just for you to like understand very much well. Now, when I said I saw one example now, this same Yusuf, like now, okay, good. Now here is it. So anytime you see for in Izhar, the first one is the Noon would be written with a vivid sukun. The sukun would be vivid on it. That is one. Two, for the Tanween the Fathatan will be written parallel to themselves, like they would be on the same thing. You know what I mean? Like this. Then the Kasratan too would be written like this. Then the Dhammatan would be written one like this and the other would be collapsing into it. That means anytime you see a Fathatan written like this, it is not Izhar. Anytime you see a Kasratan written like this, it is not Izhar. Anytime you see a Dhammatan written like this, it is not Izhar. The what determines Izhar is when it is written parallel to themselves, like this, and the Dhamma is being collapsed into themselves. That is what? That is a tip or a trick to know Al-Izhar. The Noon would be written with a vivid sukun, and then the Fathatan will be written parallel and close to each other. The Kasratan too, same thing. The Dhammatan will be collapsing into themselves. Reverse is the case when it comes to anything that is not Al-Izhar. If it's not Al-Izhar, it will be written a little bit offside for the Fathatan and the Kasratan, and the Dhamma would be written in twos, multiple Dhammas. That is everything about Al-Izhar. I hope you understand this now. Talking of Al-Idgham, since we've already understood everything we need to know about Al-Izhar, now Al-Idgham is the second ruling under Nuun Sakinah Tanween. Now, what is Al-Idgham about? We've learned that Al-Izhar means showing, making something vivid. Idgham is the opposite of Izhar. Simple. That is, Al-Idgham means fusion. Like it means putting, not showing something. Let me put it that way. It means fusing or the fusion of two things into themselves. That is what Al-Idgham means. Now, they would say Al-Idgham is what, for example, you know, Adghamtu al-lajama fi famm al-faras. When we say famm al-faras is, you know, I don't know if you know this, when you're talking of the horse belt, the lajam, what's the English again? Oh, yeah, the lajam, the horse belt, that thing worn on the horse from the mouth, you know, to ease controlling and the navigation while on trips. So that thing is called a lajam. So when you fix the lajam into the horse's mouth or the horse's, you know, head, it's called what? That is an example of what al-idgham means. So when I say adghamtu al-lajama fi famm al-faras, I inserted, I fused in the horse's belt into its mouth. That is just a very simple example of al-idgham. So adghamtu al-lajama fi famm al-faras. So I've said now that al-idgham is the opposite of al-izhar. Izhar means showing something, making something vivid. That is why when you are talking of al-idgham, al-izhar in Nuun Sakinah and Tanween, you would pronounce the Nuun Sakinah. We would hear, we would see it by itself, on its own, without suspending that Nuun Sakinah, that idgham, into the next Arabic alphabet. But for al-idgham, in simple words, it is infusing or inserting Nuun Sakinah or Tanween into the next Arabic alphabet. That is just it in simple words. That means to say, we will be putting Nuun Sakinah or Tanween into the next Arabic alphabet that comes after it. Now, if you could remember very well when we were talking about Al-Izhar, we said Izhar happens in 6 Arabic alphabets, and that is what the Huruf al-Halq. And the Huruf al-Halq are 6. Al-Hamza, Al-Ha, Al-Ain, Al-Ha, Al-Ghain, and Al-Kha. That is Huruf al-Halq. Of Al-Idgham, surely it would have its own Arabic alphabet. And one simple rule is that in Tajweed, once I have said that Al-Izhar, this 6 Arabic alphabets belongs to Al-Izhar, it can never belong to any of the remaining 3 rulings of Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. That is to say, you know, we've already said that Nuun Sakinah will come before any of these 6 Arabic alphabets. Nuun Sakinah cannot come before any of these 6 alphabets and then you call it any other thing aside from what Al-Izhar. That is the ruling. That means we have 6 Arabic alphabets removed from the whole entire 28 Arabic alphabets. Remaining how many now? Remaining 22. Now, out of those 22, some will go to Idgham. Anyone that goes to Idgham will not belong to the remaining 2 or the remaining 3. Out of those that go to, now, if some goes to Idgham, then some will go to Iqlab and some will go to Ikhfaa. So that is how they shared those four rulings of Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. They shared those Arabic alphabets within themselves. So now we've known that Al-Izhar, this 6 Arabic alphabet belongs to Al-Izhar. The question now is, what are the Arabic alphabet that belongs to Al-Idgham? Same thing too here. Al-Idgham has how many alphabets? 6. 6 alphabets. And that is what? Yarmaloon. It's being compiled together. Those 6 alphabets is being compiled together in Yarmaloon. By Yarmaloon, I mean Ya, Ra, Mim, Lam, Waw, Noon. Yarmaloon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ya, Ra, Mim, Lam, Waw, Noon. That means to say, anytime, anywhere, anyhow you're reading or reciting the Quran and you come across a Noon or a Tanween preceding any of these 6 Arabic alphabets, the ruling would be what? Al-Idgham. And what is Al-Idgham? Al-Idgham means fusion or insertion or inserting the Nuun Sakinah into the coming word, or sorry, into the coming alphabet or into the next alphabet. That is the ruling. You know, in Izhar, you don't insert, you make it vivid, you show it. That is Izhar. Of Idgham, you insert the Nuun Sakinah into the next Arabic alphabet. Do you understand this to an extent? Now let us give ourselves some examples where I'll be able to also, illustrate some things we are saying. Now, I deliberately did not bring examples or write them down in order for you to know that these things are practical in the Quran itself. You can see I opened anywhere. Now, when presently in Surah Maryam, فَقُلِي وَاشْرَبِي وَقَرِّ عَيْنًا فَإِمَّا تَرَيِنَّ مِنَ الْبَشَرِ أَحَدًا فَقُولِي إِنِّي نَذَرْتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ صَوْمًا فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ إِنسِيًّا. Now, I've seen one example. يَا أُخْتَ هَارُونَ مَا كَانَ أَبُوكِ امْرَأَ سَوْءٍ وَمَا كَانَتْ سَوْءٍ. Can you see? وَمَا كَانَتْ أُمُّكِ بَغِيًّا. Am I correct? أُمُّكِ بَغِيًّا. Yeah, no. Can you see what happened here? سَوْءٍ. This Tanween here, if it was to be under Idgham, if it was to be under Izhar, how would you have pronounced it? We would have said سَوْءٍ وَمَا سَوْءٍ وَمَا. But because Waw here is not belonging to any of these huruf al-halq, this Waw here is not belonging to any of these huruf al-halq, so it cannot be what? It cannot be shown. It is very sure that we will not show the Tanween here. What we are now to do, we are now to go and look for where does Waw belong. Waw belongs to huruf al-idgham. It is part of the harf. It's part of the huruf under Yarmaloon, which Yarmaloon belongs to huruf al-idgham. Do you understand? That means we need to fuse, we need to insert the Tanween here into this Waw. That is why we said سَوْءٍ وَمَا سَوْءٍ. Can you see what just happened? I did not say سَوْءٍ wa. I did سَوْءٍ وَمَا كَانَتْ سَوْءٍ. Do you get it now? So سَوْءٍ E. That's the first fatha. سَوْءِ under fatha. Under the kasra. So when you are doing it for Tanween, سَوْءِ that's the first one. Then you take your nose on the Tanween already. By the Tanween, you go straight into the Wa. So you inserted the Tanween here into this Wa. سَوْءٍ وَمَا كَانَتْ أُمُّكِ بَغِيًّا. That is one example. Now let me use this same verse for the next one. Now, I was telling you something when I was explaining al-Izhar. I said the Tanween would be written together. But here, under anything that is not Izhar, under Idgham, it will be reading slightly, like a little bit apart. That is what we have here. Can you see this now? It's written like this. But here it's written together. That is how you know al-Idgham. Do you understand? Now, the same thing happened here too. At the end of this verse, it is سَوْءٍ وَمَا كَانَتْ أُمُّكِ بَغِيًّا. That's if you are stopping on it. But what is starting the next verse is what? يَا أُخْتَ هَارُونَ. That is, you have يَا أُخْتَ هَارُونَ. Now, this is what will happen here. You know, this is a verse. Let's assume we want to like link it together. It would be, you know, also we've learned that ya here is also what? An Arabic from what? It's also an alphabet from the 6 Arabic alphabet that belongs to al-Idgham. Do you understand that? So it would be, we want to infuse or insert this tanween into this ya. So we have something like baghiya, ya, ya, ya. That's what I want to pronounce. Ya, ya. Baghiya, ya. That's the first fatha. But with tanween, but when I want to insert the tanween, we are not saying baghiyan, ya. That will be izhar. We are not doing izhar. Why? Because the ya coming after the tanween is not an huruf al-halq. So because it's not under huruf al-halq, we would not pronounce it as what al-izhar. It will not be vivid. It will not be shown. But because ya is under idgham, it will be infused into themselves. So it will be baghiyan ya ukhta Harun. Baghiyan ya ukhta Harun. Simple. I hope you are able to like understand this now. Let's see if we can get one more example for tanween. I've seen one here. Okay, that's izhar. Now let me quickly test our knowledge. When I say salamun, for example, I've said the answer already, but then let me just put it. Now here, salamu, mim dhammatan. You know, what's true is I've told you that when it comes to idgham, the tanween would be written for dhamma, it will be reading for dhammatan, it will be reading in 2 for idgham, for anything aside from al-izhar. So when you've already seen that this mim is with the collapsed one, you know already that what? That this tanween is what? Al-izhar. So another thing for you to further what? Assure yourself is that what? Ain is coming after it. That is to say, salamun. It would be a tajweed blunder for you to say salamun alaykum. Ain is huruf al-halq. Huruf al-halqi is under izhar when it comes to Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. So it would be read as salamun alaykum, not salamun alaykum. Do you understand? Salamun alayk. No. Salamun alayk. I hope you are able to like relate to this explanation. That is that about that. Let's see to get one more example. I wish to give ourselves one example for the Sakina. قال أراغب أنت عن آلهتي يا إبراهيم لئن لم good. This is what I'm looking for. Now, there is one thing when it comes to al-idgham. Al-idgham is divided into 2. We have, okay, let me try to clean this off. Al-idgham is divided into 2. We have the first one, al-idgham bi ghunna. Al-idgham bi ghunnatin. Now, when I say al-idgham bi ghunna, The ghunna means that tanween sound, that sound that comes in from that is being articulated from your nostrils. That is what al-ghunna. So al-idgham bi-ghunna is when you say that an idgham, an infusion of Nuun Sakinah into the Nuun Sakinah or Tanween into any of this Arabic alphabet with that that is al-idgham bi-ghunna. The second one is al-idgham bi-ghayri ghunna. بغير غنة. When I say al-idgham بغير غنة, it means an infusion or an insertion of the Nuun Sakinah or Tanween into any of these 6 Arabic alphabets without the you know that sound. When we say وَمَن يَعْمَلْ, for example, فَمَن يَعْمَلْ. Okay, good. This was the example I've been looking for. فَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ, in Surah Zilzala. Now, look here. When you say فَمَن, then the Nuun Sakinah, if it was to be Izhar, it would be فَمَن يَعْمَلْ. But because Ya does not belong to this 6 Arabic alphabet, it is not Izhar. It is what? Al-idgham. So it would be, we are inserting the Nuun Sakinah here, the Ghunna, the Tanween, or the Nuun Sakinah here, we want to insert it into Ya. So it would be فَمَن يَعْمَلْ. So with this now, this is an example of what al-idgham bi ghunna. Why? Because you can see that Tanween. Sorry, you can see that ghunna. The ghunna is the sound that comes out from your what? From your nostrils. That is the ghunna. فَمَن يَعْمَلْ. So now, for idgham bi ghunna, I hope you understand what idgham bi ghunna is now. Now, for idgham bi ghunna, out of this 6 Arabic alphabet, the only Arabic alphabet that you would be able to, when you're inserting the Nuun Sakinah or the Tanween into them, you would have to put ghunna is Ya, Noon, Mim, and Wa. Yan, Ya, Noon, Mim, and Wa. That is to say, anytime you are inserting Nuun Sakinah into Nuun Sakinah or Tanween into Ya, you put ghunna. فَمَن يَعْمَلْ. Anytime you are inserting Nuun Sakinah or Tanween into Noon, مِن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. مِن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. You know Noon is not under huruf al-halq. So it's true that we're not doing Izhar. So because we know Noon is under idgham, but where under idgham? Bi ghunna. You put what? You put ghunna. That will be there. فَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. مِمَّا لِلَّهِ. For mim. مِمَّا لِلَّهِ. Mimma lillah. For mim now. You know, we are putting Noon into mim here. So because we are putting Noon into mim, and mim belongs to huruf al-idgham, it's surely not izhar. We are not showing, it will not be min mali. No. But because mim here is what? Is huruf al-idgham. We are doing what? We are infusing or inserting the Nuun Sakinah into it. Right? But then, what kind of insertion is it? It's an insertion with what? With ghunna. So it will be Mimma lillah. Do you get it now? Now with Tanween, I think we got one example the other time. Saw'in wama. Saw'in wama kanat. So Saw'in wama kanat. Can you see the presence of that ghunna? there. That is what al-idgham bi ghunna. I hope you understand. That's why I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by anything. Now, al-idgham bi ghunna is the opposite of al-idgham bi ghunna. That is to say, you will be doing an insertion without ghunna. You will be doing an insertion without that. Now, the question which you also know the answer is, if ya, noon, mim, and wa has already belonged to al-idgham bi ghunna, which is an insertion with the ghunna, we don't have any other question than to know that what an insertion without ghunna will only happen where? Under ra and what? And lam. Lam and ra, or ra and lam. So anytime you're inserting Nuun Sakinah and Tanween into ra or into lam, that is to say you would not be putting al-ghunna. For example, I think I saw one example here. That was what actually prompted me to actually remember. Now, وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُمْ. Oh, good. I love this example. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُمْ. Oh no, sorry. It's not. We've not gotten to Ahkam. But then, let's do. Now, look here. We are doing, ra is under what? Idgham. We know it's surely not Izhar. So it would be a total grammatical, tajweedical blunder when we say min rahmatina. No, that is Izhar. But ra is under Idgham, we know. And the ruling is that we are meant to insert this Nuun Sakinah into this. So it's meant to be something like we are meant to insert the Noon into ra. Normally, that is Idgham. But then, what kind of insertion are we doing? Because we've learned that what? If we are doing the insertion with it has to be any of these 4 alphabets. If it's not any of these 4 alphabets, then it will be any of these 2. And this 2 belongs to what? An insertion without the sound. That means to say, it has to be something like, if it was to be bihunna, which is with the it will be min rahmatina. But this here, we are not doing with the sound, we are doing without it. So it would be like you are totally eliminating this noon. Pronounce with me. You now do mim kasra, mi, ra shadda fatha, ra, mir rahmatina, وجعلنا لهم لسان صدق عليا ووهبنا لهم من رحمتنا. Do you understand now? So that is an example of al-idghamu bighayri ghunna. So that is just an elucidating part and everything you need to know about al-idgham. I hope you understand this. In case you have any questions, don't forget to ask me. Here is it. There is something you need to know also still under al-idgham. There is an exception to the general principle of insertion. We said al-idgham is when you insert, when you see a Nuun Sakinah and a Tanween, then coming before any of those ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, noon, then you insert the Nuun Sakinah and the Tanween into the coming word. However, there is an exception to the general principle, and the exception is in relation to 4 words in the Quran. In the Quran entirely, you are going to see, anytime you are seeing them, anyway you are seeing these 4 words in the Quran, you would not be doing it wrong. You would be doing what? Al-Izhar. And what are those 4 words? They are what? Dunya. Let me write it very well. Sinwan, Qinwan, and Bunyan. Now here, in case you're reciting the Quran, Anytime you see dunya, you're going to pronounce this noon with izhar. It is not dunya. No, it would be dunya. This is called al-izhar al-mutlaq. Al-izhar al-mutlaq. Al-izhar al-mutlaq. So it's on the consensus of the ulama, of the ai of Tajweed, that these words, as it was recited to Prophet Muhammad in the Quran, is that these words are meant to be recited as what? As al-izhar, not idgham. But then you would feel like, oh, noon is coming before ya, so why is it not idgham? That is how it is. Izhar mutlaq. It's in the same word. That is why you will see that all of the examples we'll be bringing since morning, one is ending, one is starting another. That is, Nuun Sakinah is at the end of a particular word, and the other Arabic, any of those 6 Arabic alphabets are coming after, begin another word. Do you get? But here, dun, ya, sin, wan, qin, wan, bun, yan. Irrespective of that, it's ya, is wow, is ya. They are still pronounced or being called in articulation as if they were what? Al-izhar. That is just that about that. So this is the general principle. This is the exception to the general principle of infusion or insertion of Nuun Sakinah and Tanween into what? Any of those 6 Arabic alphabets. So it comes only in these 4 words. There's no way you can see except from these 4 words in the Quran. Dunya, sinwan, qinwan, bunya. Just gets like that. Now, moving on with our class, we'll be discussing al-Iqlab. Al-Iqlab. We've explained al-Izhar. We said al-Izhar has what? 6 Arabic alphabets, and those are the huruf al-halq, hamza, ha, ayn, ha, ghain, and kha. We've explained that idgham. We said that idgham has 6 too. Ya, ra, yar, mim, lam, waw, and noon. Yarmalun. Now al-Iqlab. And don't forget that I mentioned something when we explained al-Idgham, that if we can have 6 alphabets go to al-Izhar, it cannot belong to any of the remaining 3. If we have this 6 too going to al-Idgham, it cannot belong to any of the other 3. It cannot belong to Izhar, it cannot belong to Iqlab, and it cannot belong to Ikhfaa. So now that means in total of 28. If we have 6 plus 6, that's 12 minus 12. That is what? 2812. That is 61. We have 16 Arabic alphabets left. And those 6 are meant to be shared between al-Iqlab and al-Ikhfaa. That is what I just want to point out to you. That is to say, you cannot have any of this belong to any of the remaining 2 anymore. Iqlab will pick its own out of the remaining 16. Ikhfaa will also pick the left, which is the remaining. So that means to say now that anyone we say belongs to Iqlab, belongs to Iqlab. Ikhfaa will take the remaining, because none of those alphabets under Ikhfaa will be able to mingle with Iqlab, will never be able to mingle with Idgham, and shall never mingle with Izhar. Simple ruling. I hope you get this now. So now, let's talk about al-Iqlab. In simple word, al-Iqlab means changing. It means what? Changing something. Let's say you see A, you change A for B. That is what Iqlab means. Do you get it now? So, al-Iqlab means qalbu. Al-qalbu, qalbu noon. So, okay, I don't want to put it in textual Arabic in order not to like mix up things for you, but then let me just put it in simplest words for you to understand. And Iqlab, when I say means changing, then you might not ask me the question, changing what? And Iqlab means changing of, when we said, in Izhar we said showing. What are we showing? Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. In Idgham we said insertion or infusion. What are we infusing? Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. Same thing too here. Changing of what? We want to change Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. the question now arises, what would we change it to be? That means to say we would be changing Nuun Sakinah or Tanween to what? To meme. We would be changing, or would be in place of Nuun Sakinah or Tanween, we would be changing them to what? Meme. That is what I mean. Now, meme in what place? I hope you understand how I'm trying to relate this whole thing now. Izhar means showing. Showing of what? Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. Idgham means what? Idgham means infusion or insertion. Insertion of what? Nuun Sakinah and Tanween into what? Into any of these Arabic alphabets. Same thing here. Showing Nuun Sakinah and Tanween when it comes to any of these Arabic alphabets. But in Al-Iqlab means what? Changing Nuun Sakinah and Tanween to mean anytime Nuun Sakinah and Tanween meets with what? With ba. Do you get it now? So it's like a triangular love. It's like a triangular love thing. Anytime in the Quran you see Nuun Sakinah or Tanween coming before ba, that means I'm trying to tell you now that the only Arabic alphabet that belongs to Iqlab is ba. Izhar has 6. Idgham has 6. Iqlab has just 1. So anytime you're reciting the Quran and you come across Nuun Sakinah and Tanween, right, preceding al-ba, the ruling is what? Al-Iqlab. And Al-Iqlab means changing. That means you need to change or substitute that Nuun Sakinah and Tanween to what? Meme. Then when you substitute it to meme in relation to ba, do you get it now? Let me give you examples for you to understand. من بعد صلاة الفجر وحين تضعون ثيابكم من الظهيرة. Now, من بعد, here in the Quran, anytime Nuun Sakinah or Tanween is preceding ba, you will always see a small meme. A small meme here. The small meme here is saying two things. It is saying that you need to substitute or change this Nuun Sakinah for meme before you now insert this meme into ba. Do you get it now? And the reason why this is like this is because the point of articulation of Noon and Ba are, the point, okay, let me not go into that for textual reasons. We'll explain more when we come to Makharij al-Huruf and Sifat al-Huruf. I don't want to talk about that now. But then, just get it as a point that Al-Iqlab means changing or substituting this Noon to Mim and now inserting the Mim into Ba. So it's like this. So do you get the... So, Min Ba'di, me, that's this one. Me. So now you do like you're doing Mim Kasra, me, Mim Sukun, Mim Ba Fatha Ba, Mim Ba'di. So anytime you are seeing Nuun Sakinah or Tanween, this is what is going to happen there. It's like you're pronouncing a Mim Sakinah before a Ba. That is just it. But then it is literally what? Al-Iqlab. You're only changing the Noon here to what? To Ba. You're only changing the Nuun Sakinah here to Mim and now infusing the Mim into the Ba. That is what Al-Iqlab means. Min ba'di salatil fajr. Let's see if you can see one more example. Okay. Then in Surah Sajda, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْمَأْوَى نُزُلًا بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Look here. Nuzulan. This is what is there normally. if it was not, if ba does not come before this thing, it would be what? Nuzulan, nuzulan. Let us imagine if it is Hamza or any of this Arabic, any of these 6 Arabic alphabets. Nuzulan, that's Izhar, right? If it was Ya, this Tanween will change from twin. It will become what? Brothers. I like to call it like that. It will become what now? Nuzulan Ya. That is what Al-Idgham. What kind of Idgham? Idgham bi ghunna, because Ya belongs to an infusion with the ghunna, right? Nuzulan Ya ma'ashar al-shabab or something. But then here it is not Ya belonging to Idgham. It is not Hamza belonging to Izhar. Rather, it is what? It is Ba. Nuzulan. Now, we've already understood that in Izhar, the Tanween would be together. In Idgham, it would be sliding, right? But in Iqlab, you would only see one haraka. When you see one haraka, instead of the second haraka, which is the one that is meant to be on top, you would have a small meme here. That shows that what? It is Iqlab. That is a hint. So anytime you are reciting the Quran and you see okay, my mic is still on work. So anytime you are reciting the Quran and you see a small meme, you know that what you are about to pronounce what? A ba. So here is what? Nuzulam, nuzulam bima kanu ya'malun. Nuzulam bima kanu ya'malun. Do you get the point now? So that is everything about Al-Iqlab. So now, you've understood when it comes to the Tanween. So when it comes to the Noon too, in Izhar, in Idgham, they will not write the Sukun. In Idgham, in Iqlab too, they will not write the Sukun, but it will be with what? With a small meme. So anytime you see that small meme, you know that what you want to do what Al-Iqlab. And Iqlab means changing the Nuun Sakinah to meme before now infusing that meme into the ba. So you can only have Iqlab with ba, nothing else. Do you understand this? And now, to further, explain what we're talking about on Nuun Sakinah and Tanween, we'll be going to the last principle of Nuun Sakinah and Tanween, and that is what? Al-Ikhfaa. Al-Ikhfaa. But before that, let's do a little recap. Al-Izhar has 6 Arabic alphabets. That is Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, and Kha. Al-Idgham has 6 Arabic alphabets. That is Ya, Ra, Mim, Lam, Waw, Nun. Right? Al-Iqlab has just one, which is what? Al-Ba. Then I told you something while I was explaining that any Arabic alphabet that belongs to any ruling shall never, will never, can never, must never belong to any of the remaining. That means if 6 goes to Izhar, it cannot belong to any of the 3. That is already excluded from the 28 Arabic alphabets. If 6 goes to Idgham, it cannot go to any of the 3. That is another 6 excluded from the Arabic alphabet. Remaining what? Remaining 16. We've treated Iqlab too. Iqlab takes just one, which is Al-Ba. Ba cannot belong to here, it cannot belong to here, and surely it cannot belong to this one we want to talk about. Making what? Making how many in general now? How many in total? Making 13 in total. That means to say, is that 13? Yes, 6, 6, 1. That's the 13. Minus 23, that means 15. That is to tell you that all of the remaining 15 Arabic alphabet belongs to no other than Al-Ikhfaa. None of those 15 Arabic alphabets can belong to Izhar. It cannot belong to Idgham. It cannot belong to Iqlab. And those Arabic alphabets are under, you might not be able to handpick them now. Let me give you this rule, or let me give you this bait. It's called like a poetic line used in تحفة الأطفال. Sheikh تحفة الأطفال. I don't know if you've heard of تحفة الأطفال. Now, so good. So it's like this. It is in the beginning letter of all of this word is صف ذا ثنا كم جاد شخص قد سما ضم طيبا ضم طيبا زيد في تقى ضع oh no, sorry, I've done a mistake. Is dum. Is dum. So it is صاد ذال ثا كاف جيم شين قاف سين دال طا زاي فا تا ضا ظا 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 صف ذا ثنا كم جاد شخص قد سما دم طيبا زد في تقى ضع ظالما. So this is just to like make it easy for you to like pick out those Arabic alphabets. So in counting them now is 15. That means al-Ikhfaa is the grand of them all. Because if 6 goes to Izhar, 6 goes to Idgham, 1 goes to Iqlab, and 15 goes to Ikhfaa. That is, this is the most occurring in the Quran. Because with 6 Arabic alphabet, with 15 Arabic alphabets on the page, you can get over 20, over 50 on a page. Do you understand? Now, what do we mean by al-Ikhfaa? Al-Ikhfaa means hiding. Hiding. Now, by hiding, you are not inserting and you are not showing. That is to tell you that what? Ikhfaa is something in between al-Idgham and in between al-Izhar. You are not totally showing. Now, what are you hiding? Of course, we know. You are hiding Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. You are not totally showing the Nuun Sakinah and you are not totally inserting it. That means you would insert, but not totally. It's like you are halfway in. Like the Nuun Sakinah and the Tanween is halfway into the next Arabic alphabet, which is any of these 15 words, 15 letters. But it is not totally into it. It is like halfway on its own and halfway into the next Arabic alphabet. That is what al-Ikhfaa means. That is the difference between al-Idgham and al-Ikhfaa and al-Izhar. Idgham means you totally insert and submerge it into the next Arabic alphabet. Izhar means no, you show it, you make it vivid. But Ikhfaa means it's halfway in. It is hiding in between. It is not totally in, it's not totally out. That is what al-Ikhfaa. Do you get what I'm trying to say now? So now let's give ourselves some examples. This is Surah Al-Sajda. Tanzilul Kitab. And when I told you that it's easy to get, here we have Tanzilul Kitab. Now here we have Nuun Sakinah and Zal. Now you're not saying you're not saying Tanzi. That is Idgham. But you want to show the Nuun Sakinah on its own. Let's say it is meant to show on a, let's say it is meant to be, this is Idgham, this is Izhar, for example. Tanzilul Kitab. That's Izhar. For Idgham, you are putting the Noon totally into the, let's imagine that Zai is one of these 6 Arabic alphabets. It would be Tanzi. But under Ikhfaa, instead of you to submerge on a 2 times, or sorry, on a normal time, it's going to be a 0.5. That is to say, it would not be totally into the zai and it would not be totally out. So something like Tanzi. So when you're pronouncing the ta, you'll have put your mouth on the next Arabic alphabet, but not pronouncing it yet. So it will be something like Tanzi, Tanzi. That is one. Let's see another example. من رب العالمين أم يقولون افترى بل هو الحق من ربك لتنذر قوما لتنذر Do you get it now? So Nuun Sakinah Dhal لتنذر قوما ما أتاهم من نذير من قبلك minna. So that is like a very vivid example of al-Ikhfaa. So Ikhfaa, Nuun Sakinah Tanween, coming before any of these 15 Arabic alphabets will translate to be what? Al-Ikhfaa. I hope you understand this now. So that is everything about Nuun Sakinah and Tanween. Now I want us to look at, I would try to I want us to go through the whole work. I hope you understand everything relating to al-Ikhfaa at this point. I used to say, when you see a Nuun Sakinah or Tanween coming before any of this Arabic alphabet, it will be hiding into it, not totally submerged into it, and not totally showing, and surely not changing. They're not changing because it's not al-Ba. That is everything about al-Ikhfaa. Now, after we've been able to explain everything about a Nuun Sakinah and a Tanween in relation to al-Izhar, al-Idgham, al-Iqlab, and al-Ikhfaa, we said al-Izhar has 6 Arabic alphabets, and al-Izhar means showing, making something vivid, right? It shows that anytime we see Nuun Sakinah and Tanween preceding any of those 6 Arabic alphabets, which is Huruf al-Halqi, we have Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, and Kha, then it will be shown vividly. Then we have al-Idgham. Al-Idgham means insertion or fusion of the Nuun Sakinah or Tanween into any of those 6 Arabic alphabets, being Ya, Ra, Lam, Mim, Waw, and Noon. That is, anytime we see Nuun Sakinah or Tanween coming before any of the 6 Arabic alphabets, it would be inserted into them. Now we have al-Iqlab, which means changing, right? Changing of Nuun Sakinah into Mim before now inserting the Mim into the next Arabic alphabet. And the only Arabic alphabet that could have changing is what? Al-Ba. We have al-Ikhfaa, which is what? The father, as I say, to all of this, which is what? Because it took 15 of those Arabic alphabets, because this is 6, 6, 1, and 15. So when al-Ikhfaa, anytime we see, and we said al-Ikhfaa means hiding. Hiding in the sense that it's not showing and it's not inserted. It's not totally inserted and it's not totally showing. That is to say that al-Ikhfaa is something in between Izhar and in between Idgham. Do you understand this now? And that means to say, when we see any of Nuun Sakinah and Tanween preceding any of those 15 Arabic alphabets, mean شف ذاتنا كم جاد شخص قد سما دم طيبا زد في تقى ضع ظالما. That is like the poetic line encompassing those 15 Arabic alphabets. Do you understand? Now, the purpose for this class now is to go through a whole page of the Quran and trying to pinpoint every single one under this, under this 4 rulings. Now let's go. Let me okay. Let's say this is the Quran. You can literally just open anywhere. No. Okay, let's do here. I'm presently on Surah Al-Hijr, page 263 of the Quran, Surah Al-Hijr, verse 16. Now, you can open alongside and we go through it. وَلَقَدْ جَعَلْنَا فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا وَزَيَّنَّاهَا بُرُوجًا. That fathatan there, we've known that what? That is something for us to take note of. Now, burujan, that fathatan, notice even before you look at the next one, the fathatan is written slantly against themselves, not together as a twin. That is to say, it can only be two things. One, it can only be either idgham or ikhfa. It can never be izhar, because izhar is always written together. It cannot be iqlab, because iqlab will only have one haraka. The second haraka will be substituted and changed to what? To mim. So now you've seen that what it is slant. What now further makes you understand where it's going to belong between idgham and iqlab and ikhfa is what comes after it, which is what? Wa. And by wa belongs to what? Idgham. Simple explanation. So here we know that what the ruling here is what? Al-idgham. Idgham tanween fil wa. We are inserting the tanween into wa. What kind of insertion are we doing? We are doing the insertion with the gunna. Why? Because we said that what al-idgham is divided into two, with the and without the Now, the insertion with the has 4 Arabic alphabet, which is ya, nun, mim, and wa. Anytime you see ya, nun, mim, and wa after Nuun Sakinah Tanween, it would be inserted. That Nuun Sakinah Tanween will be inserted into that any 4 Arabic alphabet with the gunna. So the first thing we've seen here is burujan wa zayyannaha. The first one is burujan wa zayyannaha. بروجا وزيناها للناظرين وحفظناها من كل شيء. Minku, you see a Nuun Sakinah there. Now, how do you know where it belongs to? You know that the noon here is not with haraka. It can either be idgham or ikhfa. In izhar, it would be with sukun. In iqlab, it will be with a small mim. So it can either be idgham or ikhfa. But here, what is coming after it? Kaf. Kaf does not belong to any of huruf al-idgham. That means what is under what? Al-ikhfa. You are hiding it. Min kulli shaytan. Min kulli shaytani. Min kulli shaytani. Now, when we move on again, min kulli shaytanir rajim. You see that noon there is with tanween. What kind of tanween there? Tanween of either idgham or ikhfa. It cannot be izhar, right? Then we are inserting the tanween into the ra. And ra under idgham. Ra is surely idgham. Ra is one of those 6 Arabic alphabets. Now, when we are inserting the ra into idgham, what kind of insertion? Insertion without the ghunna, and that is what idgham bi ghayri ghunna. That's how we said shaytanir rajim is like you're saying noon kasra, ni and ra fatha ra, nirra with shadda, nirrajim. Do you get it now? So it's like an insertion without, so it's also under al-idgham. So شيطان الرجيم وزيناها من كل شيء طان الرجيم إلا من استرق السمع فأتبعه شهاب مبين. شهاب مبين. ميم ضمتان. Right? What is coming after it? Mim. Right? That is to show you that what? It's under, and mim is what? Under idgham. So شهاب مبين. شهاب مبين. شهاب مبين. You get it now? والأرض مددناها وألقينا فيها رواسي وأنبتنا. Good. وأنبتنا. You can see that on that noon there is one small meme that shows that what? Al-Iqlab. وأنبتناها. وأنبتنا. وأنبتنا. Consider the noon does not have any sakina. With a small mean. وأنبتنا فيها من كل شيء. Now, minku, we've had an example of that here. شيطان موزون. Sorry, شيء موزون. شيء موزون. شيء. So if you have to say شيء, that means you are going for Izhar, and no, it's mim that is coming after it. شيء موزون. موزون. Then we move on. وجعلنا لكم فيها معايش ومن لستم. ومن لستم. Now here too we have al-idgham. I feel like al-idgham is way more on this page. ومن لستم. Now here we are inserting the noon into lam. The same we are inserting the noon into ra. The reason is because lam and ra are idghamu bighayri ghunna. Sorry, without the sound. My screen is not stained. Okay, so without the sound. So that's why we have وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ and not وَمَنْ. It's not وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ. وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ له بِخَازِنٍ. Am I correct? وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ له. What am I reciting? برازق. Okay, it's not بخازن. وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ لَهُ برازق. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ. I think we've gotten another. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ. So noon into mim tanween. Noon into mim idgham. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا شَيْءٍ إِي. شيء إلا. فإن من شيء إلا عندنا. عند نون into دال. عندنا خزائنه وما ننزله إلا بقدر معلوم. بقدر معلوم. Right? قدر معلوم. وارسلنا الرياح لواقع فأنزلنا. نون into زال. زاي. فأنزلنا من السماء ماء فأسقيناكموه. فأسقيناكموه وما أنتم. نون into تا, and ta is under حروف الإخفاء. أنتم له بخازنين. Yeah, okay, that's why I saw خازنين. إنا لنحن نحيي ونميت ونحن الوارثون ولقد علمنا المستقدمين منكم ولقد علمنا المستأخرين فإن ربك هو يحشرهم إنه حكيم عليم. حكيم عليم. Tanween into ayn. Right? So an assignment for you is I want you to do from verse 26, after verse 26, 25 now. So I want you to do from 26 to 51. That is from here to this place. I hope that is more explanatory. I hope you've learned a lot from this particular course. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease and first and grant us all more understanding. I'll see you in our next class.